Hi, this is Lynn with Kansas Troubles Quilters. I am here today with block 6 of our vintage Christmas sampler for the quilt along. Uh, it is Christmas Cactus. Now this block is a large block, fills up a lot of space in the quilt, and has a lot of really dynamic elements to it. Simple blocks, 4 patches, half square triangles, and star pointer flying geese units, but it all goes together to create this beautiful block in reds and greens that I just really love. So we've talked about how to do half square triangles. In the instructions, it gives you how many you need for the square as well as the 2 block strip. So it gives the total over to the side. So when you're cutting, if you want to cut all you need for your tan background at once, it gives you the 18.5-inch square block and your rectangular block with the totals over here. So you can just cut all of those at once and put them in 2 separate piles to keep things straight, if you're an organized person. So the flying geese or star point units we make with the rectangle. We draw a line on the back side of our red square, stitch on the line or just to the corner side of the line if it doesn't quite match up to your corner when you finger press it. And then I like to press my seams open. Now we've talked about the critical point, and that is here in the center. So as you're stitching, start in the center, go to the corners, both directions. And when you're pressing, do the same thing. Start in the center and go to the corners. I think you'll find that that rectangle will stay much more square and true, and you won't have your little points where it's really a weak spot flaring out and giving you a distorted block. So that's one of the things to watch for on connecting corners. I assembled this in rows. I don't think there's real specific pressing instructions in the book, and that's because depending on how you assemble this will depend on how you press it. So I pretty much sewed my strips together and didn't press much until I was ready to sew all the different sections together then, and then I pressed it the way it wanted to go. So if you press toward your corners and your little sashing strip here, then that determines the way that everything else will be pressed. And it really worked out pretty well because then you can press this direction and this direction to help keep your star points there. And same with your green half square triangle or your the green flying geese units here. So if you start with your top strip and press it the way it wants to go, then the rest will follow and it will come out just fine. This unit, we're sewing connecting corners on a rectangle instead of making 2 separate blocks. And I think it just eliminates a lot of seams and makes your unit much more accurate and saves a lot of time and trouble trying to match up seams and whatnot. So I eliminated that center seam for us, and I think it helps a lot. On page 10 and 11 is where the instructions are. You'll notice that my background isn't necessarily the same as the background that I tell you to use. It's because I grabbed this one instead of the other one, but I'm not going to tear it apart. So mine will have a different background, not a problem. You actually should use what is listed here with the little flower in it, or you're not going to have enough of this print. So pay attention to the book and not to what mine looks like here. Great tutor, huh? All right, so that is Christmas Cactus, block 6, and I will see you next week for block 7.